Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on Their Fight Story. I have Sean Lally with us. Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. How did you get into mixed martial arts?
So, mixed martial arts, my path started a long, long time ago. I did karate when I was very young. I remember, maybe being 6, 7, 8, doing some taekwondo, things like that. And I really liked it and I excelled at it even at a young age. I just really was really into it and I had a strong connection with martial arts. And then, we moved around a little bit. It was kind of difficult to stay at one school. And I kind of got away from it for a while. I remember, it's funny, I remember at one point being super embarrassed, like my freshman year of high school, going back to karate. So I didn't tell any of my friends because like karate wasn't cool anymore. But I wanted to do martial arts, but it was the only thing that was in the area.
Yeah.
So I remember like having my, karate uniform, whatever, in my backpack and leaving school and like secretly going off to karate. So it was like such a weird thing. And now I'm like, I guess I'm cool now because I did karate. And I was embarrassed about, people making fun of me for going when I was in high school. But it kind of progressed. I was about 16. I remember wanting to I went for a run when I was 16 and I came back, I did a bunch of push-ups and I was all amped up and I was like, I'm going to get into the UFC. Like that, I said that like when I was like 16 years old. And for that, then it was like always on my mind. I couldn't stop thinking about it. No matter where I was in life, it was something that I always was thinking about and never got sick of watching it, never got sick of doing it, never got sick of watching other people do it, learning about it. It was just one of those things that like I never have gotten bored with. Around 16 years old, me and my father found a gym in Whitefield, New Hampshire, this little town in New Hampshire, with a great guy named Greg Williams. We still stay in contact to this day, and Kaze Dojo. And we started just like training there. Me and my dad would get up at like 5 a.m. He didn't have a car. I didn't have a car. We would walk like all the way to the gym at 5 in the morning and lift weights. And he was like one of the first people to show me how to lift weights. And it just went from there. And I had my first amateur fight when I was 17 years old. From there, that was a great experience. I had a second amateur fight. And then I took a pro fight. It was like 7 days after I turned 18. Someone got injured on a card and they were like, hey, we want to make $400 this weekend? And I was in high school. I was like 17 years old. I was like smoking weed every day and just like drinking on the weekends with my friends and barely training. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like that sounds awesome. I could make a little cash this weekend. So and I love to fight. So I was like, this is great. And I went to Combat Zone. And I actually fought a guy from Sityodtong, Brandon Chagnon. We met years later again at Sityodtong and sparred. And it was just like such a funny flashback. But I was doing well. I was piecing him up a little bit with the hands, but I gassed out and he got me in a triangle choke. And then I didn't fight for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
After that.
Was that because you went into the military?
Yeah, so it was, there was a large part to do with, I had my fight. I was 18 years old. I graduated high school. I went to the military right after that. As most people know that I talked to, I was an Army Ranger. I got to do some really, really cool stuff at a young age. I got to jump out of planes, blow stuff up, like everything that I wanted to do as like a young man. Like that's why I joined the military, because I'm a adrenaline junkie and I like the excitement and I like the challenges that come with those things and the people that you become surrounded with. So I was in the military. I was in for 3 years and then I got out, and that 3 years in between, I was just like a lot of wasted time, I guess I could say, but I guess it's more experience and kind of all those things are what makes me who I am today. So I never look back and like, oh, I wish that time didn't happen. But I could have focused a lot more on the things that I really want to do, like martial arts. But, you know, I was moving around, I was drinking, I was doing drugs. I was like, just kind of like go wherever the wind would take me. And I finally landed in Cape Cod, and that's when I took a trip over the bridge and I found Loco Lobo in Wareham, the exact man that I was meant to find, you know. And of course, I love Loco. He's like a, you know, surrogate father to me, and we have a great relationship. So I found him and I trained with him and Pat Schultz and Max Barrett and Peter Barrett were there. And I remember the first night I was there, Loco had me spar with Sarah Click. So that whole crew at Chip, Pollard, of course. So that whole crew. And then from there, I was introduced to Banana, Giuliano Catuno, who owns Unico down in Hyannis. And he was my jiu-jitsu professor. And I think it was like, probably 3 months back into my training, I was booking a fight at Cage Titans, and I was an 0-1 pro. I had to fight pro. Like, there was no option because I hadn't fought in 6 years, but I had to fight pro, you know? So I was like, okay, I guess we're going for this thing for real. Like, I wanted to have amateur fights. I would have done probably 5 to 10 amateur fights before I went pro, but it all worked out okay. So yeah, I fought a guy who was 2-2 at Cage Titans, and choked him. I got him in a submission. My only submission. I like forgot. My only submission win. He kind of just like got tired. It was like, take my neck. And I'm like, all right.
Okay. That is too funny. I remember the first fight, like I told you before, that I went to and I saw you. I didn't know who you were. No idea. But I was looking, you know how they have the matchup and stuff like that. And then I see Sean Lally, and I'm like, oh, I'm going with Sean Lally because my mom's name is Lally. So, like, all I did was to look down to adjust my camera, and the fight was over. And then I don't know if it was a judge or a doctor that was next to me. He's like, what just happened? I'm like, I have no clue. All I did was look down to adjust my camera, and it was over. You knocked him out with a kick. And I was like, oh my God, it was like, I think 19 seconds. It was super quick. I was just like, what just happened? And I'm like, okay. And after that, I was like, all right, he's fighting again. Let's see if he's going to beat that time. Let's see. You know, so I was always like wondering, like, what time are you going to beat? Because I already saw that you can knock somebody else so quickly. It wasn't about whether you can last all the rounds. I already knew that. I just wanted to see the time. I was like, oh my God, I got to see this.
Yeah. And that was like always my mindset. It's just like go in there and like get this done, get this over with. Like I need to hurt you before you hurt me.
Exactly.
But it was like I remember there was 2 fights back to back. I had an 8-second knockout and a 19-second knockout. So that was a nice little stretch of 7 seconds of fighting. Yeah.
How did your military training help you with your combat now?
Yeah, so I mean it definitely was a huge benefit with me moving into professional MMA, not only in the cage itself, but just based on the fact that you really learn how to work with a team. And so mixed martial arts for me was a lot of that same, like as an Army Ranger, I was young, you know, so I was surrounded by super, super badass men and was being taught how to be one live with these guys, you know, who work hard every day, who basically eliminate mistakes through training and through repetition, can see super clearly under extreme stressful situations, can think, can adapt. So all of those things transitioned for me in that mindset over to MMA. Like, okay, like I got to work hard. I got to eliminate mistakes of how my enemy or opponent can defeat me. I have to be super hyper vigilant about what the dangers are in the cage. Like I never went into the cage thinking that like I couldn't get like seriously hurt. Like you have to know that's an option. Just like overseas, like I was 19 years old, I accepted that I would die perhaps overseas. And like, that was just kind of like, that was our mindset. It's like, well, that we're fucking warriors. Like that's what happens sometimes in war. And the same thing in the fight. Like sometimes you're going to lose, you're going to get caught. Obviously the stakes are a lot lower in the cage. So, I mean, just all those different things transferred over, and it really gave me what I felt I was missing since leaving the military, of being surrounded by my brothers and training, and being surrounded by elite performers, guys who like work hard every day to obtain their goals and just drill and practice through repetition for combat, just a totally different type of combat.
You're taking some time off of your fighting, and now you're focusing on your career.
Yes.
How has this, I guess, COVID inspired you to focus on that?
So, I was kind of kickstarted. I've been at this war with myself as an athlete who's 29, about to be 30, who has kind of tasted the big show, but hasn't quite gotten the return on the investment that I've put in with my body, my mind, my relationships, whatever things that you sacrifice to chase this dream of MMA. I've been at this, this battle with myself of, do I continue down this road and really, really continue to chase MMA? And I was going back and forth, and it was even like approaching the Shedrick fight. I mean, even my last fight that I was going to do, the Muay Thai with the small gloves, like I was kind of like, just felt like I was searching for something to do because I wanted to compete, but I don't even know if it was like the right move for me, honestly. And I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to throw more into business. And I was actually doing a lot of that. Like I was doing them simultaneously, but I felt like my training and my fighting were only good. And like, I really wanted them to be great, but me trying to be great at fighting was sacrificing too many other areas of my life that I just wasn't willing to sacrifice anymore. And that I don't give a shit about like getting to the UFC anymore, really. Like, and I'll tell people, I still might, like, it's just, I might set it down for a while. I'm sitting at 8-5. If I come back and knock like 3 guys out, there's no reason I can't be in the UFC at 11-5 or whatnot. You know what I mean? It's like, that's still on the table, but it's just not filling what I need filled inside me anymore. And I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on the things that I want to focus on and not feel like bad because I'm missing practices and shit. Like, oh, well, I'm missing practices. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what I'm valuing at this time. It's like, I'm really loving my career and work. I'm loving spending time with my daughter, and I'm loving spending time with my fiance. And like, that's right now for me. And I love training. I've been like sparring and lifting weights. Like, that's all I want to do is like show up and fight people once a week and then lift weights all week. And like I'm good with that, but it's the balance has gone this way, where I used to need so much more fighting to feel like okay inside and like satisfied and focused. But now I need less of that, and I'm filling it up with some other things. Other things you get to take advantage of in life. So the pandemic, I mean, title, I got laid off like the day after, we closed. I got laid off, and I was like, okay, it is what it is, but I'm not gonna sit around and wait for my job to come back. So, I did some online training of some people. I started an LLC like the next day. I started planning, visualizing stuff that I've always had in my head already, but just like now I'm putting it into practice. I even actually saw some notes from like a year ago about something that I started doing in the pandemic, like a program that I had thought about that I was now selling. So like things like that, I just start putting it into practice, and everything, one thing started falling in place in another. And then, I got the LLC, and I'm like, okay, now I cleared out half the garage and gonna train a couple people, but and then I'm like, okay, personal training is allowed in Massachusetts again, and that was in June. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to let people, and I cleared out the other half of the garage, and then more and more people started coming, started buying equipment, you know, getting the proper insurances, getting an accountant, like reading about business, learning about these things, and studying this like I would study martial arts, and putting the same, you know, it's the same mindset and the principles that like got me what I got out of the military to now MMA and now into business, and just applying some of those same things, and it's been successful. And I'm actually opening a gym. I've secured a lease for November 1st.
That's awesome.
Doing a soft opening of a gym in Needham on December 1st. And then I'm going to do a grand opening January 2nd because everyone's hungover January 1st. So I'll give you one extra day, resolutioners.
I see that your family is very supportive of you. I see your father got you onto the path of mixed martial arts. I see that your sister is an amazing singer.
She is amazing.
Wow. Like, the first time I saw her sing at Cage Titans, I'm like, they need to have her like all the time, because
goosebumps.
Yes, right? Just like, she's just amazing and talented, and it's just like,
she is a phenomenal singer. I mean, she has so many different tracks. If you guys don't know Bridget Lally, check her music out. She's a very talented young artist and person. She has not been in a wheelchair her whole life. She got in an accident when she was 19 years old, in a car accident. And I mean, the things that she's accomplished there is super, super motivating for me. And this has definitely been something that I've used to pull inspiration into myself at times, seeing the things she's done.
Yeah, she's very, she's just amazing. She's overcome so much. And I mean, seriously, she did that cold thing with you?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, no,
river.
she isn't. I'm like, no, she isn't. And she did. I was like, oh my gosh. She was she's a champ, like all the way. I'm like, okay, it's in their DNA. That's it. I don't know what else to say.
The whole family. I mean, my mom, she does the ice baths for like up to 10 minutes. She crushes me in the ice baths. I did like an 8-minute one, but not in the river. In the river, I did like maybe 2 minutes max last year. Like, she crushes me in that. I don't like it that I enjoy it afterwards, but she does it on a daily basis in the winter. Wow. Almost every day.
Wow. And she also does the fight rub. How did she what inspired her to do that?
Me. Well, no, so my mom is she does amazing things with all different natural herbs and can create remedies and all sorts of different stuff. You know, we got some Native American in us, and she's definitely very in touch with her Native American side and nature and everything like that. And she basically, she goes out in the woods and she gathers pine and a lot of other super quality ingredients, and she grows stuff in her gardens. She makes it in their tiny house. You know, she wanted to create something that would help heal her son, me, because I was doing MMA, and she's like, oh my God, you know, first he's like a crazy, I was a maniac in high school, first of all. And then like, I was in the military and I'm overseas, and now I'm fighting in a cage. And she's like, when are you going to give me a break? Like, you know, like super stressed out about me. And she created this product, and it's an amazing product. It's for if you have sore joints, you know, like different aches. I'll use it on my shoulders, ache a lot, you know, and then like you can use it on bruises. Helena, my fiance, uses it on her lips and her hands, like dry hands.
How can people have access to it? Because I think you posted something, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, so if they want Fight Rub, they can purchase it online, 2 different places. PineReal.com is her website, and then selfcombat.com is my website. You can buy the Fight Rub, buy the Fight Rub there. Or you can come to the garage. I can put you through a training session, and then I'll sell you Fight Rub for your sore muscles after.
That's awesome.
That's the third option right now. No, but she's got it in a lot of different stores up north, and if any gyms out there want to carry the product, there's some gyms in Massachusetts that have it. Just you can get a better rate for some for bulk orders.
About this product real quick, Fight Rub. This is actually a product that was created by my mother. So my mother has been dealing with me since I was born. And I'm a little bit of a wild man for those that don't know. I've had a few bumps, bruises, broken bones along the way. Okay, so she created this product. It's an all natural product. She goes in the woods and forages for these ingredients and makes it in her home. Bumps, bruises, cuts, for anybody, for fighters especially. I have a lot of fighters that use Fight Rub, but anybody, it's safe, it's effective, it doesn't have that overwhelming scent to it. If you guys want it, go to fightrub.com. Awesome product, good bang for your buck. It's gonna last you a while. My girlfriend, she uses it on her lips as a moisturizer. It has so many.
Once we get off this interview, I'll be placing an order.
Awesome.
Because I want to try it out and support, because we need to support each other in everything that we do. I mean, that's the only way we're really going to grow. And if it's something good, why wouldn't we support it?
Yeah.
You know, and especially your mom, she's been through enough. I think she needs the support.
Yeah. yeah, exactly.
Or there's like a fly going around. Is there any final words that you want to share with us?
I think that's pretty much it. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Everybody who's been along for the ride of MMA, and now like all my clients. I mean, they're the ones that are making it possible for me to move to this next stage of my career. Like, without my clients and the people that I train, I don't have a business. So I really appreciate all those people making that happen. And yeah, it's rewarding taking kind of another side and focusing more on coaching. And the whole thing that my business is based upon is body, mind, and spirit. Because for all the different things that I've kind of been through and seen other people go through, and I've dealt with and fallen on my face so many freaking times I can't even count, and then like came back and learned. Like I've finally, for myself, and I found a lot of other people, you have to work the body, the mind, and the spirit on a regular basis. And it's just true. You know, some people need a little bit more. I'm very physical. I need a lot of the body, the release, things like that. But if I don't touch up on the other things, I don't feel all right. So I guess that's it. That's it.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
People can reach out to me if they're interested in training. It's all individual, so one-on-one training, or up to 6 people in a class.
Okay, and what's the name of your business, and where is it going to be located?
So my business is Self Combat by Lally, and it's going to be located in Needham, Massachusetts. It's right off of 95.
Okay, great. Thank you again. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon.